Hello boys and girls, Happy New Year. I hope you had an amazing Christmas with your family and your friends. It is the start of a new year. How awesome is that? And I was wondering, do you have any New Year resolutions? Now your New Year's resolution could be to do your homework every day, to make sure you go to bed on time each day, to eat more fruits and vegetables, to go for more walks, to be more kind and loving to people. It could be so many different things, but choose one New Year's resolution. We are going to start the new year worshipping the King of all kings, King Jesus. So we are going to hear the story of the three wise men who came to visit Jesus. The King of all kings. Far away in the east, three clever men saw the very same star. The star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it was going to come. "He's here!" they shouted. "He's here!" And I'm sure if you'd been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. At dawn, they packed up their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all: frankincense, gold, and myrrh. The three wise men, actually, if you met them, you'd have thought they were kings because they were so rich and clever and important looking. Set off, they rode their camels across endless deserts, up steep mountains, down into deep valleys, through raging rivers, over grassy plains, night and day and night, for hours that turned into days, that turned into weeks, that turned into months and months, until at last they reached Jerusalem. Jerusalem was by far the most important city for miles around. And as anyone can tell you, that's where a palace would be, and kings are born in palaces. So that's where they went. But they were in for a big surprise. They went to see King Herod. Surely he'd know where this baby was. But he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him very cross. He didn't want anyone to be king except him. But Herod's advisors told the three wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. Go to Bethlehem. That's where you'll find him. Suddenly, the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them the way. So the three wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem, out of the nice part of town, through the not so nice part of town, into the really not nice at all part of town, down a little dirt track until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace. And there weren't any guards, or servants, or flags, or red carpets, or trumpets, or anything. Did they get it wrong? Or was this what God meant? Sure enough, in that little house, there sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The 3 men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave him their sparkling treasures. The journey that had begun so many centuries before had led 3 wise men here to a little town, to a little house, and to a little child, to the king God had promised David all those years before. But this child was a new kind of king. Though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor. Though he was mighty, he was the mighty God. He had become a helpless baby. This king hadn't come to be the boss. He had come to be a servant.
Buddy. I had a dream that I was standing on a hillside, and all the lights of town were shining far below. When in the air, beautiful voices sing a new song that everyone know. Oh, and love shone down over the hills and over the valleys. Oh, and love shone down over the world. Somebody spoke to me, I knew it was an angel. He said there's something that I think you ought to know. Then he just smiled, said don't be afraid now, sing a new song that everyone know. Oh, and love shone down over the hills and over the valleys. Oh, and love shone down over the world. And then he told me all about the baby Jesus, how to find him, where exactly I should go. Then he was joined by millions of others to sing a new song that everyone know. Oh, and love shone down over the hills and over the valleys. Oh, and love shone down over the world. Oh, did I dream or was I really on that hillside, on that Christmas night so very long ago? When he was born, Jesus our Savior, sing a new song that everyone know. Oh, and love shone down over the hills and over the valleys. Oh, and love shone down over the world. Oh, and love shone down over the hills and over the valleys. Oh, and love shone down over the world, over the world.
The wise men knew how special Jesus was, that Jesus was the King of all kings. So that's why they travelled so far to worship Jesus. And they not only did that, but they also brought gifts with them to show Jesus how much they loved him and celebrated him. The wise men didn't have detailed directions on where they were meant to go, but they walked by faith in God. The wise men were considered to be very smart and they were very rich. But even though they had a lot of money, they still went to find Jesus. And that's what's so amazing about this story, is that anybody can come to Jesus. Anybody can build a relationship with him. Boys and girls, we can all be just like those wise men by seeking Jesus with all our hearts. We can seek Jesus by praying to him, talking to him, and going to church. Lots of different ways that we can get closer to Jesus and build our relationship with him. For our prayer time today, boys and girls, we are going to do a cloud prayer. Now for this, you will need a piece of paper and you'll need to draw 4 clouds, just like I have, 4 clouds on your sheet of paper. Once you've done that, I would like you to think of 4 things that you would like to do in the new year. Something completely new, like New Year's resolutions that you would like to do this year. And I'd like you to write it in your clouds. Then pray to God about each one. For your craft today, you are going to make a shaker instrument to use for worship. You will need an empty plastic bottle, rice or pasta, plain paper, sellotape, and colouring in pens. Firstly, you need to pour some rice or pasta into your bottle. If you need help with this, please ask an adult. Once you've done that, put your bottle to one side. We will come back to this later. You now need to decorate your piece of paper using pens or stickers. Absolutely up to you. Once you've completed this, you need to wrap the paper around your bottle. Secure it with some sellotape. And there you have it, your very own shaker instrument. Well done!